What's up, everybody? We're going to get into men's emotions, the things that we struggle with mentally in our mind. Just everything that we've got in our life, our struggles, our demons that attach to us and come at us. So to start that, we all have that. We all have that mindset, right? We all have mind, body, spirit, right? Mind, body, soul. Well, we've got to control our minds and things, and there's a way to do that. I'm not an expert. I'm not a subject matter expert on this, and I don't claim to be. But I've picked up some tidbits along the way of my life. And I think there's some keys there that might help y'all, because they helped me. So, going along this, man, at a young age, I knew what I did not want to be. I would look around and see certain situations or people or anything, and I knew I did not want to be that. I didn't want anything to do with that, and I didn't want to be that. Either how the man acted, or situations in life, or financially, morally, whatever. I didn't want to be a part of that. And because of that, I put bad markers in my mind. And by putting those bad markers in my mind, I ended up making happen the things that I didn't want to happen. I would think that because if I just did not want to be this certain way, then guess what? I'll defeat that way. Because that's how most men think, right? We've got an adversary or something we have to attack, so we attack that adversary and we neutralize it. Well, that's not how this works at all. The more and more you focus on not being something like that, you end up being something like that, or something like that happens to you. And we need to change our focus from how do we not be that way, or how do we not get in that situation, and we need to change our focus to be, this is what I want to be. This is how I want my life to be. These are the situations I want around me. All right? See how that just totally changed the trajectory of what our mental capacity and thought was on that? We're not trying to defeat something. We're trying to create something. Everything's already been defeated by Christ, right? But we, as a being of this earth and this realm, we can still create things. We can make jobs, make businesses, make families. We can create. So that's the focus. We've got to focus on creating. Because these markers that were in my mind created a part of me that was, I couldn't control my anger. Like, I was not able to control my emotions all the time. Now, you could say this from backgrounds of my life or whatnot, but yeah, PTSD or something, whatever. That still doesn't escape the fact that it's still on me, and I'm responsible for whatever my actions are, right? We never escape that. And as a man, we will never escape that. That's our duty. So I had problems with my anger where I would just get angry. I'd wake up angry. I wouldn't be satisfied with anything around me in the morning. And it took time for me to get situated to where I could get to an even keel. Also, man, I don't cry. I haven't cried in a long time, man. Me and my wife have been together for 20 years. I don't think I've cried but maybe 2 or 3 times in 25 years. And those cries weren't like cries. We have to dump those things, man, because these emotions are attached to disease. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Emotions that we have and these markers that we've created ourselves, we've put ourselves there because of a situation or whatever thought process we had or mental process we had, and it created an emotion, and the emotion attaches to something. And if we don't hash out that emotion, whether it be anger or sadness or grief or happiness, you can be too happy. And If we can't control those, man, those are attached to illness, to disease, and will end up killing us. So all those things that we did and the way I was living and thinking created that mentality inside of me to where I was not able to control my emotions the right way. I was not able to face the struggles of life the correct way because I was looking at it from the wrong perspective. Life is nothing but perspective. Whether you're, quick story, all right? If y'all watch a movie or a show called Generation Kill, there's a lieutenant in there and he tells a part of a story. And the cool thing was that I got to live that story. But long story short, there's a Marine behind the wheel hub of a Humvee. And rounds are popping off. And Lieutenant's going through different fighting positions to make sure everybody's good, right? And he goes to that Marine, and that Marine's kind of shook up a little bit. And he tells him, hey, you're in the safest place in the world. Think about it. No rounds can hit you right here. You're behind this steel drum from the brakes of this vehicle and the calipers. Now, you could be home and some schmuck's driving down the road and this joker wrecks and dies. It's all a matter of perspective. Where that guy was at in a crappy situation, he was probably one of the safest men in the world because of what he had around him, right? So that brings us back, man. We've got to understand perspective. If we keep focusing on trying to defeat what we don't want to be, trying not to be what we don't want to be as men, we're always going to miss the mark and end up being that beast or whatever we don't want to happen or we don't want to be. We've got to change our perspective. We've got to change it and circumvent and overcome and adapt to the fact that we want to create. We want to be this way. We want to be morally this way. We want to be morally good. We want to be great, masculine servants to our area. We want to be great husbands, great fathers, right? We want to be great children, sons for our parents when they get older and we need to take care of them, right? Because that's another duty we have. So we look at these things in the right perspective and our mind gets cleared. We're not trapped by the enemy's way of trying to attack us to where we can't stand on our own or we can't have a sound mind. No, we turn it over, give it to God. We pray about it, meditate about it, and we move to create and to build, not to avoid. We've got to stop trying to avoid something. Take things head on. Don't get me wrong. We take things head on, but we create. And I've noticed since I've went through that process of quit trying to avoid not to be like somebody else or in a situation and go to, I want to create myself to be this type of man, or I want to create this type of life around my family, or I want to create this type of life for my community, right? Those are the keys, man. That's what works. All right. That's the end of my period of instruction. I hope this helped y'all. Y'all move it on. Put that in your toolbox. Carry out the plan of the day with it. All right. Like and share this, guys. I know there's men out there that need this stuff, man. There's a storm coming. There's a storm coming. And we've got to prepare everybody we can around us. Because if we don't, there's going to be a bad time. And we can only do as good as each other. And we're only as strong as our weakest link. So like and share and hit up the Patreon. All right. That's all I got for you. This is my period of instruction. I'm Oscar Mike.